Hey everyone, welcome to the channel or welcome back to the channel. This is Living in Columbus, Ohio, and on today's episode, we are going to talk about the top 5 school districts in the Columbus metro and the surrounding areas, and we're going to talk about why they're ranked the way they are, where they're located, what's going on with housing, and some of the top things that they are known for. So stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this episode. School districts is one of the top things that I always get asked when working with clients, whether they're relocating here or they already live here and they're thinking about either starting a family and where they're going to move, or they're thinking about selling their home and moving to another school district or inside the district. Schools are always a hot topic. Now, full disclosure, all of this information is coming from niche or niche.com, however you want to say it. This is not something that I have made up. This is not what I'm suggesting. This is coming straight from this particular website. They do school rankings and it changes throughout the year. And as we approach the end of the year, they've come out with looks like their final list for the 2023 year headed into 2024. So again, this is just not my opinion. This is factual data and surveys coming from niche.com. So number 5 on the list is going to be Bexley School District. Bexley is located kind of actually in the city. It's just east of downtown. Now it's a smaller school district in size, but has been known for a lot of wonderful things, has great reports. So we're going to slide on over and kind of look at the maps, look at the ratings. Let's go check it out. Let's jump into Bexley City School District. As you just heard, Bexley is really close to downtown. So as you can see, right here is downtown, and taking Main or Broad right out to the east side, you run into Bexley. So this particular school district, it's not very big, but you get the benefit of being so close to downtown. You're within 10 minutes maybe to the airport as well. So that is another convenience or amenity of living in Bexley and your kids going to school there. So it really just depends on what you're after as far as how close to the city that you want to be. Now, I will say Bexley is not going to be an area where you're going to have a lot of new development going on. You will have some houses that will be torn down and some new ones being built, or there's a lot of additions that are happening to these older homes. You're just not going to get that big development that you would get, out into the suburbs. So also you are going to be paying a premium price to live here, and these houses are going to be significantly smaller for the most part than other areas outside of the city. So just kind of take that into consideration. Let's go check out some more stats about Bexley. All right, as we dive into a little bit more about Bexley School District, you can see here's some really great district rankings, which I love to see. When you talk about best school districts in Ohio, they rank 21 out of 605, which is a really great score. So, take that into consideration. There's districts with the best teachers, also highly ranked up there. And what I love about this, because you're polling teachers now as well, is, they rank 36 out of the 607 as far as teachers and the best place to teach. And so I think that says a lot about this particular school. We scroll down here, you can also see, the student to teacher ratio. So, this is a 17-1, seems to be like what the national average is as well. You also got the teacher salaries here, and teachers in their first and second year, like what percentage as new teachers, which I think is pretty great as well. Now, if you go back up here to the very top, you will see what they rank in, right? And so this is something that may or may not be a big deal for you. You can actually, open it up even more to see as far as sports, the food, resources, and facilities. Now, again, you're a little bit smaller school, older school, maybe some of those facilities aren't as great as some of the newer areas. But this is an overall report card that you can find here on niche.com. Highly suggest you getting on here and checking it out. So there you have it. There's some things about the Bexley City School District that you can learn a little bit more about, what's going on, why it's ranked the way it is, where it's located, talked a little bit about housing. But one thing that is really cool, if you are looking to live more in the city, Bexley could be a great option for you because it's just right down the road from downtown. And so you get a great school district and you get close proximity to the city. And so that's important for a lot of people that maybe don't want to live out in the suburbs or go even farther out into the rural areas. So coming in at number 5 is Bexley City Schools. Coming in at number 4, I'm a little surprised by this. I thought it would be ranked a little higher on the list, but hey, that's just the way it goes, is Upper Arlington School. So Upper Arlington is, again, going to be another great option for you if you want to live close to the city. It's, just a little bit north and west of downtown. 10-minute drive maybe. So it's a great area, very popular, hard to get into, great academics, great sports. It's got a lot of things going for it. So let's go check out a little bit more information about Upper Arlington Schools. Okay, so if we jump into Upper Arlington Schools, again, this is going to be a lot like Bexley. You can actually probably see where Bexley is right over here. But Upper Arlington is just a little northwest of downtown, another small school district. But look at the proximity to downtown again. So if you are somebody that wants to kind of live that urban lifestyle still and you don't want to be outside in the suburbs, this might be another great option for you. As you can see right here, you're close to Grandview, Clintonville, an earshot away from the airport. Again, another great place to go. So let's look at the report card. So best school districts for athletes. This is going to be a different kind of report card, obviously, but number 4 out of 597 school districts here in Ohio, that participated in this particular survey. So really great for athletics. Number 6 for best places to teach, and number 17 for the best teachers in Ohio. So you can see why Upper Arlington is so desirable. It's ranked really high. It's really hard to get into as far as housing because it's going to be a lot like Bexley, right? Your bang for your buck is not going to go as far as some of these other places out in the suburbs. You're going to be in older homes. You're going to have to either do tear downs. You're possibly going to have to do additions if you can afford it. But if that's not in the budget, there are still little pockets that are still affordable that you can still be in Upper Arlington Schools. But this is a very difficult place to get to, so you might just want to remember that. Let's get the full report card as we go up here. As you can see, a lot of A's, a lot of B's. What's always interesting, this could be a hot topic, both Bexley and Upper Arlington, not a lot of diversity going on in these particular schools. So, that's something that maybe you want to consider if you are thinking about where to send your kids. If that's important to you, something to consider. So another great report card here on niche.com on Upper Arlington Schools. You have some more information, about this as well. You can get into teachers. So it looks like here's a 20-to-1 ratio. Here's your teacher salary again. So again, these teachers are getting paid a lot of money, but you can also see why they're getting paid a lot of money. They rank very highly in the state in a lot of things. There are more teachers in their first and second year in Upper Arlington than there were in Bexley. And then, you have your overall living in that area and then some reviews that you can read down here as well. I hope you learned a little bit more about Upper Arlington. One thing that I love doing is when I drive by the school, I just think how amazing this must be for kids to go here. They have a brand new school, or high school, I should say. It looks like a college campus. I went to Kent State University, and it looks better than anything that we ever had. So it's got a great reputation, great teachers, a lot of perks about going to Upper Arlington. So again, that's coming in at number 4 on our list, the top 5 schools. Let's go check out number 3. Making the list at number 3 is Olentangy School District. Now, I've talked about this school district many times in our videos, and one thing that you are going to notice or learn about this particular school, it is massive. School district, I should say. It is massive. Just checking my notes here, it's got over 27 total schools and 22,000 students. That is absolutely insane. So, there's multiple schools within the district, high schools, I should say. And, if you look at where Olentangy School District is made up, which we will hear in a second, you're going to see it's just tons of space, tons of farmland. I'm not going to be surprised if another school gets built in Olentangy Schools. Great area to live in. lot of perks of being up there. You get a little bit more space, great academic, sports, all those things. Again, all these schools are going to have kind of the same stuff, but let's go check out a little bit more about Olentangy schools. Okay, so you're coming up on Olentangy School District now. As I mentioned before, look how massive this school district is. I mean, it is absolutely huge. And what's wild about this is it's going to be able to accommodate more schools in the future. And I really think there's another school coming inside the district, maybe 2 down the road. They just have the land area to do that. So if we kind of zoom out here, as you can see, Olentangy Schools is going to be probably 30 to 45 minutes from downtown Columbus. Sits in between Delaware. You got Worthington right here, Dublin, Albany. So it is a little bit farther away than the previous 2 schools. But again, if this is an area that you want to live in, this is a place to look. You've got great schools up here. You've got some water. There are a lot of new build communities up here as well. I would say your money is going to go farther up here than it would in the city. So you got to take that into consideration. But you also have to take into consideration, do you want to be this far away from the amenities of downtown? There are a lot of people that do. That's why they live up here. It's why it's very popular. You are close to 71 a lot of times, which if you are, wanting to rip down into Columbus as fast, or if you're going north to Mansfield, Akron, Cleveland, and on, then that's a great kind of perk to live up there as well. Let's go check out the report card here. For best school districts for athletes, coming in at number 5, best school districts in Ohio coming in at number 12, and best places to teach coming in at number 52. So again, a lot of positive rankings here, which I think is really important. One thing to note, when you're on this website, you can get more rankings right here. So these are just 3 that they bring up. Let's look at a full report card. A lot of A's, a lot of B's, as one would suspect while you're coming up here. So, great report card right here. If we scroll down, 20-to-1 ratio as well. A little bit smaller salary per teacher than UA, which is interesting. And then teachers in their first or second year, not a lot. So you have a lot of tenured teachers that are teaching here in the Olentangy School District. So pretty cool. Let's go check out some more information about Olentangy. Wow, that's a lot of great information about Olentangy School District. A lot of stuff that I didn't even know, or some new things that I learned that had just maybe recently happened or they were better known for. So again, going to be another great choice for you if that's the area that you want to live in Central Ohio. You have a lot of great options up there. So let's go and see our top 2 school districts remaining. Coming in at number 2, fortunately did not make number 1 this year, but that is New Albany School District. Now, what's interesting about New Albany schools compared to Olentangy schools is, you only have 5 total schools. My notes say here, compared to the 27 in Olentangy, and only around 5,000 students compared to the 22,000 they have in Olentangy schools. So it's going to be a lot smaller. The community is a lot smaller. Class sizes are going to be smaller. So there's just a lot of other possible perks that you may be after when looking at different school districts, and you might like what New Albany has to offer. So let's go check that out. Coming in at number 2, as we just heard, is New Albany. You can see this is a very small school district as well. Let's zoom out, check out where it's at on the map. You have Bexley, if you remember, down here, Upper Arlington, Olentangy, and now we've got New Albany. New Albany is going to be very close to the airport. You're 15 to 30 minutes to downtown Columbus, depending on where your house is. What's interesting about New Albany is over here, the Intel project is, obviously under construction right now. It's going to be. So like I just said earlier, is like, what is the impact of that going to have on the schools? New Albany's not that big. You're talking 12, 13,000 people. So, is Intel going to force the school or the city to expand, to start building more? Are we going to eventually have to split the schools and have 2 schools inside of a district? That's yet to be seen. Like I said earlier, I don't think that'll happen, but it's something to keep an eye on. Let's look up here at some rankings. Number 9 in the state of Ohio for best districts, number 19 for athletics, and number 32 for best places to teach in Ohio. One would conclude this is a great school district by seeing these rankings. That's why it's ranked number 2. If we go up to kind of a full report card, lots of A's up here, a lot of B's. One thing that I do know about New Albany is it used to be not very diverse. And now I think, just based on working with clients in the area, being familiar with the area, seeing a lot of rankings and reviews and stuff like that, I think the diversity is improving. I would say that's why it's getting a B ranking now. So something to consider. Again, if we scroll down here, let's look at the ratio. We're at 18-1, so pretty much right on par with what the national average is. Salary, and then again, you're not getting a lot of teachers in the first and second years. Could that be that there's just less people wanting to be teachers? Possibly. Also, there's probably not a lot of job openings. I mean, if you're teaching at a really great school, if you're happy, if you have great facilities, if you're getting paid well, you're probably not going to leave that particular area. In particular, if you have kids in the school too, why would you leave? So no surprise here about New Albany. So again, you can come down here and get living in the area, overall grade, and some reviews if you would like. One thing that's interesting about New Albany and their schools is we're going to see what happens in the next 3 to 5 years with Intel coming in here, if New Albany plans to expand their school district or if they are going to stay kind of tried and true with their wanting to remain the same. That'll be something to look out for while Intel keeps having an effect on the region of what's going to happen. So if I had to bet, New Albany, they're very particular about a lot of things. I think they're going to stay pretty tight, and I don't expect another school district to kind of be built and developed in New Albany. But coming in at number 1 on our list, the top 5 school districts here in Central Ohio for 2023, heading into 2024. Once again, it's Dublin City Schools. And, not surprised by this. There's a lot of really great things that these schools do up there. They're known for not only their academics, their athletics, their fine arts, anything extracurricular activity related. I feel like Dublin does a really great job at giving all these resources to their students. And I'm just not surprised by the ranking. And I think that you are going to also see in the future another Dublin school being built within the district. They're buying up a lot of land, they're expanding their neighborhoods and where their housing's at. And it's just not going to surprise me if there's another announcement coming with a school here in the next couple years. Let's go check out some information about Dublin City Schools. All right, as we just heard, Dublin is number 1 on the list, the top 5 school districts here in Central Ohio. And as you can see, Dublin makes up a very, very large area. It's just pretty much north and a little west of the downtown area. Almost butts up, parts of it almost butt up against Upper Arlington, which is interesting. But what I can tell you is there is a lot of building going on out here. You have Jerome Village, you have other areas that have been developed in this particular area. So as I said earlier, I don't believe that Dublin is done growing. I think they're going to add another school eventually. Something that I've been hearing a lot of is them buying more land out in here and annexing it to Dublin. Does that mean that then that would warrant another school? Possibly. Or do they go some of the neighboring schools? That's yet to be determined. But, as you can see, Dublin has a lot going on. So great location, tons to do in Dublin. Let's go check out the report card. Number 3 for best places to teach. Number 3 with the best teachers. Number 6 as far as best school districts in Ohio. And if the athletics thing was up here, I'm sure it's probably in the top 10 in Ohio as well. So again, this was expected with the number 1 ranking here on niche.com. We go up here, we've got a lot of A's and B's, which is great. Again, you would expect this from the best school in Central Ohio. Let's go down. 19-1 ratio, so a little bit more students per 1 teacher. The average teacher salary is up there a little bit more than what Olentangy or New Albany was, and a little bit higher of those teachers that are in their first and second year. And overall, you've got 5 great school districts that we've talked about today. No surprise, Dublin comes in at number 1. I think if you talk to a lot of people in Central Ohio, if they had to guess what the number 1 school district would be here in the Columbus area, everybody probably would have said Dublin if you were to take a poll. So let's get back and we'll end this episode for you guys. So that was a ton of great information about Dublin City Schools. No wonder it's number one. And again, every year these rankings seem to be interchangeable within these top 5, but it does seem that almost every year, Dublin usually sits at number 1 on the list. So congratulations to them. I hope this episode provided you with a lot of great information about these particular school districts. Now, there's not to say there's not other great school districts in Central Ohio, because there is. But again, I wanted to just show you the top 5 according to niche.com and give you as much information about these school districts as possible. One quick reminder before we go, I am a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Ohio. I'd love nothing more to help you with your real estate needs. So if you're thinking about moving, relocating, or you already live here, make sure you give me a call, shoot me a text, fire off an email, because I'm going to have your back when it comes to all things real estate related. And thank you again for tuning in to this episode of Living in Columbus. I'll catch you next time.